Patrick again. Richard, hello.
Hi.
You mentioned that in addition to your skills in research, that you rely on visions to guide your work and life. Can you describe what the nature and content of your visions are?
Yes. I can make it real short to begin with. I am concerned about the period that lies just ahead of us. And I mean, like tomorrow and the day after that. Our situation is so serious that what we do now has an effect on what the future will be. And my vision tells me that we have to minimize the degree of radioactivity that those who are going to survive the upcoming massive turmoil will have to contend with. This is an imperative, the number one priority. If we don't do that, then my inner knowing is telling me, oh, there's not much of a future for me or for thee.
Speechless there for a moment. I'm sorry. In past writings, you spoke against the use of psychoactive drugs and plants, but your recent accounts of an ayahuasca experience suggest that there might be some value. Do you have any thoughts on this, perhaps reflecting on Terence McKenna, John Lash Lamb, or others that were inclined to venture out of the box?
Sure. Though I'm not sure what writings you're referring to, and I have to admit, I've written so much over the years that I don't remember every sentence and every paragraph of every article, book, and interview that I've written. But I can say that in my extremely lengthy article, which thousands of people have read, entitled "Who Wants to Be CEO of a Red, White, and Blue Kakistocracy?" and that's spelled Kakistocracy, capital K-A-K-I-S-T-O-C-R-A-C-Y, that I wrote back in the summer of 2008, that I very specifically advocated for the sober use or ingestion of ayahuasca, iboga, and like entheogenic plants in order to upwise, if you will. I do see these sacred medicinal plants as having very great value when used reverentially and sacramentally and therapeutically. They can be tremendously helpful. They have been to me and to myriad others right down through the thousands of years of history that precede the present day. So that has been my view on the so-called medicinal, psychotropic or entheogens, entheogenic plants for years. I have to say I don't have the same favorable view of the chemically synthesized and refined drugs and narcotics such as heroin, cocaine, ecstasy, LSD, methamphetamine, and so forth. And that may be what you're referring to. In the past, I have expressed a similar view to what I'm telling you now.
Those are, like you said, synthetic and unnatural. So that makes sense.
That's right. The ones that are synthetically created, artificially concocted in chemical laboratories, and usually most of these are trafficked by criminal syndicates. I'm not keen on either the criminal aspect of it or the artificial chemical nature of these. For me, the natural plant-based entheogenic substances, brews, what have you, have an altogether different effect on human consciousness. They're more integrative. They're more natural. They're more spiritual. They're more alive. They're more aware. For example, when I drank the ayahuasca brew, I very much have the feeling of being engaged with another vast, inscrutable intelligence that is interacting with me on a conscious, well, really a hyperconscious, hyperdimensional level. In other words, it has a fuller, more satisfying, I would say, biological feel to it, the kind of feel that a DNA-based intelligence has. And to me, that is far more satisfying and fulfilling and self-actualizing, uplifting.
Well, thank you. In a recent article, you mentioned that you had not revealed your latest vision. I mean, only the import of various recent ones. Can you share your recent visions?
Not the most recent one.
Okay.
It's personal.
I understand.
We're speaking with Richard Sauder. Please support him by purchasing his great books from eventhorizonchronicle.blogspot.com. Richard, your answer is actually interesting, and it probably goes into this next question in my line of thinking, a philosophical question. Since you have now taken the ayahuasca brew, this question delves into the nature of spirituality in life. Firstly, what is your opinion on destiny and free will? How much control do we really have in shaping our future? We hear people like David Icke, who's also taken ayahuasca, stating that we can manifest anything we want in the world, while others state that we made a choice to be born in this 3D world at this period of time to learn lessons. So the future maybe can be tweaked slightly, but it's pretty much set in stone. What is your take on this question, destiny or free will?
Yeah, I don't think the future is set in stone. I think it's malleable. I also think, obviously, the present is malleable. Your life is nothing but one big decision tree. Will I get up in the morning, or will I stay lying in bed? Will I turn right at this intersection, or turn left, or go straight ahead? Will I get married or remain single? Will I have children or not have children? Will I work at this job, or will I be self-employed? Will I move to South America, or will I buy a house next door to an exploding nuclear reactor? So I very much believe in free will in this sense. Your will is as free as you want it to be. Now, understanding there are many people who are essentially just biological robots operating on matrix-created biological software, if you want to put it that way. And people like that, and I just described hundreds of millions of people, maybe even 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 billion people. A very large percentage of the human race are on autopilot. They're essentially something like biological robots, just performing under the imperative of a program that's been put in them by the matrix, or by their ancestors, or by the cauldron to which they've been born. And for those people, no, there's not very much free will. But you know what? In many cases, those types of individuals don't want free will. They prefer to just go along to get along. But for those who do want free will, who do desire it, who see not only the utility of it, but its deep importance at a soul level, then yes, for them, there's as much free will as they care to have. Now, for that reason, the future is malleable, just as the present is, for those who see the possibility of needing, in the sense of K-N-E-A-D-I-N-G, needing not only the present, but the future. It lets you need a big piece of dough. If you're going to make rolls or bread or something like that, you need the dough. And then you bake it to create whatever pastry you're going to make or bread, whatever. And so in that sense, I see that the future is not at all fixed. It's as free and as changeable as awake and aware and conscious beings would like it to be. So what ayahuasca did for me is reveal that the entire cosmos is hyper-consciously aware from the micro level to the macro level. The question for thinking beings then is not so much, is anyone listening? Hell yes, the entire universe is listening. The question becomes, do you have anything to say? Do you have anything intelligent to say or to add or to do? Anything creative or interesting? Anything uplifting or enlightening? It is your privilege and responsibility to add your quantum of enlightened, intelligent, self-aware life energy to the all that is.
Richard, this is Uranus again. I'm curious as to how you walk the tightrope between personal freedom in a self-actualized way, such as speaking out against the mind manipulations in the machine, versus giving space to others, space that allows them to arrive at whatever choice it is in their free will and destiny to make. I say this bearing in mind that to some people who are under enormous mind manipulations, and given that we live in a society where true spiritual courage has been discouraged, if not beaten out of us, then when we speak of what is really happening in the world, it may be perceived by people as us imposing views on them, views that they have not arrived at themselves as self-actualized persons. So to them, it might be experienced as yet another mind manipulation or like some sort of concussion conversion. And I just wondered how you walk that tightrope.
I could best answer with this example and then elaborate with some the thoughts that follow from that. When you see an arsonist with a box of matches about to burn your house to the ground, do you worry in the slightest about imposing your views, contrary views, on the arsonist for fear that you might interfere with his free will? Or do you take direct action to prevent the arsonist from burning your house down? I think the answer to that question is obvious. So it then behooves us, when people reach such a level of recklessness that they place the entire planet and the entire human race at risk, along with most of the other higher life forms on the planet, that they're practically begging to have some adult guidance and supervision. Under those circumstances, it behooves us to step in and provide guidance and supervision of the adult sort. I am humbly suggesting that that guidance be applied nonviolently, creatively, and as peacefully as possible, since silence and inaction